be well enough to flip my camera around, and I will show you guys where I hang out.
Okay, so we're ready to roll. The recording has started. So welcome everybody once again to the What Makes Me Happy project. And Paralia is our presenter today. Paralia, if you wouldn't mind, just maybe for those that are just joining, flip the camera around just for a second so you can say hi and reintroduce yourself to us. And the floor is yours.
So, Carolina, it's a nice, slightly breezy day down here in North Carolina, and I am going to share where I hang out. Let me flip the camera around now. So this is here. There's my neighborhood, which is actually the first area. And here, 15 years now. So I got to watch the chickens grow up. And
Paralia, we're having an issue hearing you.
oh, okay. Uh, there, maybe is that better?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. It'll clear up as soon as I head inside. But my flowers are blooming, which is wonderful. And we're going to head inside because I have. There's my mom and Vanessa playing Scrabble. Sometimes they're out on the front porch. There's the cat room. This is where the cats like to hang out a lot and run up and down.
Hey, Paralia, I can't really hear you that well. This is Vera.
Okay. I'll try to get a lot closer to the microphone. And my husband left out some of his trinkets. My husband is a machinist, so these are the kinds of things that he does during the day in his shop in the backyard. And he takes giant hunks of metal and like whittles away and creates those. So I have tons of recipes I'm going to share with you. So if you bear with me just for a moment, I'm going to put the phone down.
Paralia, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
We're still having
a hard
difficulty hearing you.
We're having a hard time hearing you.
And
Very
muffled.
Are you on speakerphone? Paralia, maybe it's not on speakerphone or something and it's picking it up too far away.
check that. Nope, it says it's on speakerphone. All right, give me just a second. Let me just pop into this wonderful cheesecake, and then I'll take it upstairs and I'll put my headset on, and it'll be better. I made a nice.
Here, Leah, cheesecake makes me happy too. I'll take one. I will work for food.
Paralia, where's the
I don't
ice
think
cream?
you can hear us, right?
The ice cream is coming. Kind of hard doing this one-handed. Hang on.
Now the camera's covered.
Now we have cheesecake. Hey, Vera, do you recognize the place?
Oh my God.
that looks good.
Wow, there's my ice cream.
Oh, and it's a bird. I get to have a snack while you guys watch me, and then we're going to go over the recipes for the stuff that I've made.
Apparently, we can't hear you. It looks like it's walking further and further away from us.
I think she's taking it someplace where she can plug in so we can hear her better while she eats it.
Vera, I think she's teasing you with that ice cream thing.
I believe so. I believe so.
It's like watching a French art film. It's very surreal at this point.
You ever watched a French art film, Ralph?
I have.
Ralph stars in French.
All right. You guys should be able to hear me much better now.
We can.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
So much
torture.
better.
What was
Let me
wrong
kill
with
the phone.
you?
Let me figure out how to get out of this on the phone. Okay. So, yes, I made oh, now I'm echoing.
Turn the speakers off on your phone should do the trick.
There we go. Much better. All right. So, Phoenix, get out of my cheesecake. Here, I'll introduce you guys to Phoenix. This is Phoenix. This is one of my cats. This is my little holy terror here. Phoenix, no, you cannot have mommy's cheesecake. But my nice little office assistants here. I am going to share out my screen as well. And I have this nice little Word document that I am going to drop into the Teams meeting. And it has links to lots and lots of recipes, including the cheesecake and the mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Oh.
So, Phoenix, stop. The cat is eating my cheesecake. This is not allowed, Phoenix.
Wow.
Okay, so I will drop this into the Teams meeting, but those of you that have been on the HR Mess Happy Hour with me, I included the recipe for my mudslide. And yes, it has 5 different liquors in it. I do a lot of cooking with alcohol. In case you guys were wondering, if the volume had been good on my phone, I would have showed you guys the liquor cabinet. The mint chocolate chip ice cream, David Leibovitz, I get a lot of my recipes from him, especially my ice creams. Virtually all of my ice creams are custard based, and as Vera and some of the others that have been down here to North Carolina can attest, they are very, very, very good. And
Decadent.
Yes, this one is the cheesecake that I just cut into. You actually take the blueberries and mix them up with some brown sugar and a little bit of maple syrup, and you put them in the oven and roast them until they burst, and then you puree it, and it goes in the cheesecake mix, and that's why my cheesecake is purple inside. So for those of you who want to see here.
So
But
Carol Lee, did you say your mudslide recipes
Yes.
on here? Oh, okay.
Yes, it's the very first thing right here.
Some of us just want the alcohol.
Yeah, we'll all have mudslides on Friday. There.
I
There we
like
go.
that. I like
Yes.
that by the time you get to the ice cream and the milk ingredients, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. The ice cream flavor does not matter at that point. And I also included the link to my recipe for my drunk monkey muffins. It's banana bread with chocolate chips, and it's also made with Jim Beam.
Oh.
And most of these are links where you can just click on them. I have several of my ice cream flavors. I've got a couple of easy recipes, like for kids, the easy corn dogs, where you take the Jiffy corn mix and put it in the muffin tins and then cut the hot dogs into thirds and stick them in it and bake it. And it's really easy corn dogs. So that would be great for all you guys with kids. And a s'mores recipe, tons of ice cream. Here's a bourbon pecan pie and a chocolate bourbon pecan pie. Both of them are wonderful. Cinnamon ice cream, and virtually everything on this list I have made at some point. And I have a few pictures out here. Here's the cheesecake in process last night. So this is what the inside of the cheesecake looks like, and with it baked before I put the sour cream topping on it and bake it for a little while. And then here's what it looks like coming out of the oven. And I do bake all my cheesecakes in a water bath.
Now, why do you bake them in a water bath? I'm a big cheesecake baker. Why do you bake them in a water bath?
It keeps them from cracking as much. And the other thing that helps keep them from cracking is if you just turn the oven off and just prop the door open and let it come to room temperature.
And just so you'll know, pecan pies are great with brandy too. We must drink a lot in the South.
Yes, we do. We do.
You were going to think us North Carolinians do nothing but drink.
And I'm okay with that. But yeah, I have a bourbon pecan pie recipe on here, and the German potato salad. Now, for those of you that really get industrious, I have a rainbow Jell-O mold recipe. It took me 5.5 hours to make this. I have one of the guys that I used to work for some 25 or 30 years ago. His partner got retired from the school system down here, and we had a giant pool party for him. And so I did this rainbow mold, and it looks like this.
Wow.
Whoa.
And
That's
it took
impressive.
It was impressive.
Wow.
It was.
Wow.
I took like 6 different flavors of Jell-O, and you mix one layer. The trick is you have to put it like in your bundt pan, and you have to let a layer get almost completely set. Not quite solid, because you need the next layer to adhere to it, but you need it solid enough so that the flavors don't mix. So you have to catch it at just the right time. And overall, about 5.5 hours later, this is what I ended up with.
So do you do any of this at fixed cost, Paralia?
Yes, and it's really pricey.
She could put you on a fixed monthly service package where you get one of these delivered every month.
Subscription basis here.
Yeah.
It's all about the reoccurring revenue.
Exactly.
Apparently, I got to tell you, I was completely unprepared for today's call. To be fair to everyone else, Adam, going forward, you've got to tag these things like you may come to this hungry, or you may not come to this hungry. I was completely unprepared for today. I'm salivating.
He completely set us up for failure, Eagle.
I'm totally like,
for failure.
I'm just drooling on myself. This is not right.
But now you've got all these cool recipes you can make, see?
No, absolutely. My productivity is about to go straight down the tubes for the next couple of days.
All right, let me find my Word document. Let me drop that in the meeting so you guys have it. All right, that should be uploading. It's pretty hefty size. Some of them I had to actually take screenshots because I couldn't find the online links anymore. All right, so that Word document should be showing up in the chat window now for anybody who wants to pull that out. But I thought I would also share just a little bit about me. Randall and I have been married for somewhere around 20 years or so now, not quite 20 years. And he and I do a lot of traveling. And this is he and I in Spain on Gibraltar. And most of you know that he and I usually take a big trip every year or two, often in the summer. And here we have, this is me with one of the Barbary apes on Gibraltar. that came hopping along. One of our tour guides had made a friend out of him. And so here he is sitting on my shoulder. And here are my kitty cats. This is Phoenix on the left and Anastasia on the right. And they are often up here in the office with me, as many of you have seen them wander across my keyboard. They don't care if the webcam is on or not. And they are just absolutely delightful. They're about 2.5 years old now. They are sisters from the same litter. And I was talking with Tom before everybody came on, and most of you know that in the fall, I disappear a little early on most Fridays. I referee volleyball here in North Carolina, and I have since given up the floor reffing except for the occasional tournament. So here's a picture. This is a spring tournament out, and surprisingly enough, Tom, this is Reynolds Coliseum before the renovation. So Tom should be pretty happy at seeing Reynolds Coliseum there. And
it looks like the crowd is respecting the social distancing requirements.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And but that's me on the stand. I have to renew my rating every couple of years anyway. So I usually do that in the spring and not take up anything in the fall with other people. But nowadays, you'll find me behind the scores table, and I do the entire season at Duke University, and I fill in occasionally at both NC State and UNC and North Carolina Central, so that I don't have to travel terribly far. And now let's see, I have a video. Let's see if I can actually get it to play. Randall and I went zip lining a few years ago. And look, this is me. Look, I did it.
You did it.
But yes, we had a lot of fun. One of our friends turned 50 and she wanted to go zip lining, so Randall and I went with her. And let's see, the other creative thing with the recipes, the reason I get a lot of my recipes is the friend of ours that we went ziplining with, Carrie and I will often run across a recipe and go, ooh, that sounds like that would be fun to make. And so what we've started doing is we'll pick a movie and then we'll try to find some common theme on the movie and plan a meal around that movie theme. Sometimes we'll find a recipe, and then the harder part is to actually find a movie that goes with the recipes. And we did Aquaman, and so I made a shrimp and sausage. Oh, look, and it's crooked. I made a shrimp and sausage paella, and this is my cranberry salad. And Carrie made an octopus salad. This is octopus, so yes, I ate it. No, I will not eat it again. It's a little on the chewy side for me. And then this is, rotate. There we go. This is me, and this is Carol, and this is Carrie, and this is at the Aquaman dinner. After we finished eating, we forgot to take a picture of the table before we started eating because we were all so hungry.
So and are we.
And then, sorry. And then Randall's very, very camera shy. He's actually at the other end of the table. So. And the last creative thing that I have up my sleeve, a lot of you know that my mom and I lost my dad Christmas Day in 2013, and my dad was very much a tinkerer. He loved to be just out in his shop, just playing and tinkering with things. So I decided that instead of having to buy flowers virtually every week to go at his gravesite, that I would get creative. And so I Googled around and I found some ways to make flowers out of aluminum cans. So thankfully the hubby drinks enough beer. I had plenty of cans to do this with. And so I cut out several patterns and finally found some sizes that would work and cut them out of the aluminum cans. So here they are before assembly, and him being a machinist, I had him get me threaded rod and the bolts to go on it, the nuts to go on it. And so then I took them, and this is what they look like after being assembled.
Wow.
And I just drilled a
Wow.
hole in the center and pushed
amazing.
I made the little flower stems and put those down, and then I put a nut on both the top and bottom to hold them into place. And then I put the flower petals on with another nut and, spun them around and bent them up to actually make flowers out of them. And here is a closer view where you can see inside on the assembly. And then I took them out into the garage and spread them out. And here we are with the primer coat of paint. And I did 3 of them in yellow with the green. And I did this with spray paint. And I did 3 of them in red. And then I took a paintbrush and I painted a lighter color of green for the veins in the leaves. And my mom said she didn't really like just the plain yellow. So I did a test and actually tipped the flowers with red. And here is what they look like at the end.
Wow.
Wow.
So cool.
Wow.
It's very cool.
So cool.
Yeah. And here they are at my father's
Oh,
gravesite.
my
Aw.
It's about time for me to
Wow,
make
that's amazing.
they've been beaten up by the weather and everything. So
That is so cool.
here's my mom and dad. This is at the Space Needle in Seattle. We did an Alaska cruise. My father was a truck driver, and he has been all over the lower 48, but he had never been to Alaska and Hawaii. And when I was in college, my mom had never flown. Mom said that she would always go to Hawaii whenever they built the bridge that she could drive across. So my father came home one day when I was home from college and said, "We have airline tickets to Hawaii. Your daughter and I are going, and you can either wave goodbye to us at the airport or come with us." So mom got on the plane and we flew to Atlanta, and we hadn't even landed in Atlanta yet before my mom was already planning their next trip. So, and then we did an Alaska cruise, and then we went back and did a second Alaska cruise and went to the interior and flew into Fairbanks, and we took the train down to Denali and did an overnight at Denali and on down to Anchorage, and then came back and sailed down the Inside Passage back to Vancouver. So highly, highly recommend travel for everyone.
Cool.
And that's
Thank you
pretty
for
much
sharing,
it.
Paralia.
That's
That
pretty
was
much my life.
awesome.
Paralia, thanks so much. Definitely looking forward to trying out some of these recipes. And it's great that you gave us a little takeaway. Love that idea. Whoever's going tomorrow, now you got to start giving some stuff out. So I know
That's
who
right.
it is.
Everybody step up now.
Thank you, Paralia.
All right,
Okay.
cool.
Bye,
Thank you,
y'all.
Paralia. Thank you so
Thanks,
much,
Paralia.
Paralia.
Thank you,
See
Paralia.
tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.